So good morning. We're going to be starting the academic and research skills unit today. Now, this unit actually has 6 learning outcomes, so it's a bit of a long one. We're going to be looking at different points, so it's quite a nicely structured one in here. You're going to be looking at your own academic processes, how you think you're doing, so your strengths, your weaknesses. You'll be looking at making a plan to set improvements for yourself. We'll be looking at how research is conducted. So what primary research is, what secondary research is. Then we'll also be looking at how we should take notes. You know, what's the best way to take notes. Then we're going to actually make a research plan. So you're going to draft a plan yourself. So you'll choose a topic and you'll create a plan for it. And then you use that plan and you'll make it into professional looking standard. So you can make that in a PowerPoint or you can do it in a Word document. And then right at the end, the last section, you'll be looking back at your own progress and seeing how well I've done. Is there something I need to change, or am I happy with my progress? So it's a nice one that helps you look at yourself. So it's like an all-rounded research project on here. So today we're going to be looking at learning outcome 1, be able to assess your own academic competence in order to conduct research. Now I'm going to stress that it is your own. Don't when you do go to doing this, don't talk about progress in general terms. Talk about your own progress. Talk about your own skills, your own weaknesses. So don't tell me people should have this or people should have that. Make sure it's your own. Now that I've said that, 1.1 is assess your own academic strengths and weaknesses, including your English language skills. 1.2 is to set targets for improvement using the self-assessment. And then 1M1, the merit question, is develop a plan to show how targets will be achieved. So we'll make a start. Now, the aim of this unit is to develop your academic and research skills and the language skills needed to be able to formally present academic research, so in writing and spoken. Now, when we're looking at 1.1, we're actually going to be looking at your own. So we're going to do assess your own academic strengths and weaknesses, including English language skills. Now, when you're looking at this, you're just going to talk about a few different points. So you're going to talk about your grammar, you're going to talk about your vocabulary, how you pronounce things, your own reading skills, your own writing, your listening skills, your speaking, your fluency, your accuracy, and your confidence. So these are different points you can include in there. So you could say, I'm good at reading, I can read information, I can absorb information, but when it comes to writing, I find it very difficult to start off an assignment. I find the first sentences or the first paragraph difficult to set out, but after that, I'm perfectly fine. So you can talk about what you're good at and what you might need improvement on. There is actually an English test on here, which we will be going over in just a couple of minutes. It just helps you, it checks your grammar, your accuracy, your sentence structure. So we'll go on to that in a moment. Now, for 1.1, you're going to look at your strengths. We've got some examples here that you can use. Obviously, these will be catered to you, so you might have different things. But this is just some points that have been put on. So one of the strengths could be I'm very good at English grammar. Another could be I can understand a lot of vocabulary. I often read in English, or I like to listen to English radio, so I think my listening ability is okay. You could also say that I'm very empathetic, so I find it easy to sympathize with my patients. I can converse well. I can build a good rapport with my patients and my colleagues and my friends. So those can be some type of strengths that you've got in here. And then you've got my weaknesses. So some ideas of that. Obviously, again, is catered to you. It depends on how you feel. So there is no right or wrong in this. So you could say, I have problems writing, or I'm not confident when I speak, or I don't practice speaking, or maybe you have English as a second language and you want to develop that. And then you could say, I'm very good at speaking in my native language, but when it comes to English, I lack a little bit of confidence. And other ideas are pronunciation is difficult. I can't remember vocabulary. You could also put things like, I'm not very good at doing research. I need to get my research skills, develop them a little bit better. Or you could even put down, my mathematics skills need developing. So whatever is focused to you. So whatever you, to be honest, you'll already know what you're good at and what you need to improve. So this shouldn't be too difficult on here. When we go on to this, we're actually going to look at the English test now. Are you both okay with this little section? Because I know it's brief, but it's quite simple. Are you okay on this, Adi and Julia?
Yeah, is it basically like just like little paragraph about each section? That what you mean?
Yeah. So do like a little bit more than a paragraph. So so have like 1.5 to 2 paragraphs. So about 2 paragraphs for your strengths, and then about 2 paragraphs for your weaknesses. So you can identify them and make sure you say, my weakness is this, or not some people are weak at. Yeah.
Personal for myself.
Yes. So you're doing a paragraph or 2 paragraphs for each section, so your strengths and your weaknesses. And then you're going to do this test. It's quite simple. I did it yesterday. It only takes a couple of minutes to do. So it's nice and simple. Now, this is an online test. The link is here. Let me just go back. So this is the link at the bottom of the page. Let me just highlight it. So click on that. Everything's on Moodle. So click onto that. Let me get back on here. Now, it only takes a couple of minutes actually to do this test. It's about 10 to 20 minutes, but to be honest, if you just, you can take a little less time as well. It really depends on how much time you've got to give it. Now, it's an online test. There's 25 multiple choice questions on here, and you're going to get 3 results. So you get a beginner to pre-intermediate, you get an intermediate or an upper intermediate or above. So there's just 3 little levels on here. Now, this test is just for your own knowledge. It's not going to say that if you get a beginner or you get an upper intermediate, that somebody is better than the other. That is not the point here. This is just for you to see what you're good at and what you might need to improve. So you just scroll down. It's quite a nice one. I'll go through a couple of questions with you. So let's go on here. So if you see, it's quite simple and explanatory. It just says, so the first question is, choose the best word to complete the sentence. So the baby boy saw blank in the mirror and started to cry. So what do you think is the best word here? Would it be baby boy saw itself, baby boy saw herself, or baby boy saw himself? What do you think would be the answer here?
Himself.
Let's see. And then it asks you, are you sure? So not sure, fairly sure, or certain. We're going to click certain. And then you'll get your answers at the end, and it'll tell you what your results were. And then the second question is, choose the best word or phrase to complete the sentence. Then your question is, a lot of trains, blank, late today due to the heavy storms. Now, I've always done it like this, and I find it the easiest way to go. I always start off with the first section. So I said, a lot of trains are run, a lot of trains run, or a lot of trains are running, and then I'll go late today due to the heavy storms. So what do you think it will be?
I think are running. Are running.
Yeah. And then again, you'll get the results right at the end. And we'll just do one more. And then we'll say, choose the best word or phrase to complete the sentence. So blank was a strong wind last night. So there was a strong wind last night. Here was a strong wind last night, or this was a strong wind last night.
There.
Yeah. See, they're not that, they do get slightly harder as they get on. Not so much, they just asks you, what would you associate with the word blunt? And then they'll give you a few choices. Would you say blunt food, blunt pencil, or blunt tool? So it just gives you a couple of multiple choices at the end. So when you've done this, at the end, you'll get a result, and it'll tell you that whatever your result was, take a screenshot of that, and then you can actually add that as part of your answer into when you're doing your assignment. So just screenshot it, add it as an image, and then tell me about your strengths and tell me about your weaknesses, and that's 1.1 covered. So it's quite nice and simple. It's all about you. Remember, you can just click, if you click on this here, it'll just lead you straight to the test. So are we okay with 1.1?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So for 1.2, the slide is quite simple, but we're actually just going to look at a couple of extra resources that we've got together that will help you answer this as well. So first, you've looked at your weaknesses and you've looked at your strengths. So you've done half the work there, so you know what you're good at and you know what you're not that good at. So now for 1.2, you're just going to set targets for improvement. So you're going to use a self-assessment. And now on here, we're going to use something called SMART targets. Now this is called specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And then at the end, you've got a reevaluate or reward, but we're not going on to that section yet. Now, what we mean by this is, does anybody actually know what SMART targets, have you ever done them? Have you ever set anything for yourselves? Yep. I'll go over them actually. So SMART, let me just show you this over here, is the easiest way to do it. So we've got two documents for this. Now, a SMART target, because you're setting targets for your achievement. So SMART actually means, the first of this bit is specific. So what is the specific task that you want to do? Measurable. What are the standards or parameters? So measurable as in, so what is it that I want to do? I want to complete a level 3 healthcare course. So how can I measure this? How can I do this? So if I want you to do a level 3, I want you to do a level 3 health and social care course like you're doing now. How would I do this? So I would get in touch and I'd enroll myself for a course, which you've all done because you're doing it. So is this achievable? Is it feasible? Is it possible? Is this possible for you to do? And then how is it possible? So you go do this by completing essays and attending classes. So it's quite simple, really. It's not as difficult as it seems. And then you go realistic. So is it realistic? Is it something that you can actually achieve? Are you able to do it? So have you got all the resources? And then it is realistic because you're actually doing it. So you're attending classes. You're looking at Moodle. And you're completing your assignment. So yes, it is. And then time bound. Do you actually have a time scale that you've set for this? So in general, it probably takes about 3 to 4 months to complete a course like the one that you're on. So you could say, what are the start days? So you could say my start date was January. And then your finish date will be May, for example. Some people will get it done in a month. Some people will get it done in 2-3 months. So it really is up to you what you want to do it at. There you go. So that is just one thing. So again, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time. So set a time scale. So when you're setting yourself some targets, you're going to use SMART for this. Now, there are a couple of resources that we've got. So we've got that one there, and then we've also got this here. This helps you to check. This is a SWOT analysis. So it lets you know what your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats are on here. Now, I think we've done something similar to this in a previous unit. And we looked at what our strengths were. So some things have already been filled in here, but remember, you can always change them to suit you. So you can delete things, you can add things. So you've got a good. So you'd identify what your strengths are, you'd identify some weaknesses, your opportunities, what opportunities you've got, and what threats. That's something that you might have an issue. So sometimes family time can be an issue if you've not got childcare. Or sometimes there can be a money issue. So so fees. So how much things cost. So when you're doing this, you can use this document here just to find out what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and then you go on to, it's telling you some hard skills and some soft skills, you can put those on. But the best thing to do is go on to this 1.2. I'll show you exactly where everything is, and just fill out a couple of goals that you're going to set down for yourselves. So 1.1 is you're identifying what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are in academics, so in your English skills, then you're going to do that test. 1.2 is where you're just looking at what sort of targets are you going to set. So may I ask, is there any sort of targets that you've set for yourselves that you know that you're working towards?
It's example like I want to go to uni, I want to finish the nursing course. It could be that as well.
Yes.
Just write it down.
Yes, that's right. So when you're doing it, set down, create a table, put down, or just write down what your task is. So say that I would like to go to university. Say I'd like to, enroll myself on a nursing or a medicine course or a care worker course. Say, is this achievable? Say, how is it going to be achieved? So you've enrolled yourself, you're going to be attending in September and so on. Have you got the resources? So is it realistic? So yes, it is realistic because you've already enrolled yourself. You're already working towards it. And then just say what time you're going to finish it by. So to be honest, all you need to do is to say, I'd like to attend university, and tell me what it is you want to study, how you're going to do it, so by applying to university and gathering the fees and so on. And then say you're going to start at this date and that you intend to finish by this date. So have 3 or 4 targets. So don't jump straight to university, talk about this course that you're doing now, talk about what you'll do in the middle. So if you're doing any English or maths to get into university, include those as well. So a lot of these things that you will already have done. So you just need to write down what you've done or what you intend to do and turn them into objectives.
Okay.
So it seems a lot more full on than it actually is. Quite a nice simple section for this little bit here, because you're just really talking about yourself. So there is no right or wrong on here. So you can't go wrong when you're, saying that this is what I want to do. As long as for 1.2, you're telling me how you're going to do it and when you think you'll complete it by, that'll be fine. So we're going to go on to 1M1. So there is only a pass or merit in this section. So we're going to look at develop a plan to show how targets will be achieved. Now we've got an example here. So we're going to look at just how we're going to set some You're actually using the same SMART targets again, but you're developing a plan of how it's going to be done. So you're not talking about, so when you're talking about the first little section, you're just going to be writing it for me. So 1.2 is you're just telling me what you're going to do, so in written form. For 1M1, you're creating a table. And the table has already been created for you, which I'll show you now. So you're just going to go onto personal development plan, and you're just going to fill out what your plan is. This is a template that's already available. You don't have to put something in every single box. You can have 3 or 4 targets, 3 or 4, 5 or 6 objectives. Whatever suits you, we'll do that. We'll come onto this and we'll actually fill this out together in a moment. Let's go back over here. So you've got goals over here. So the first goal is, what we've done as an example is gain knowledge and information about the NHS. So how is this measurable? So at the end, I would like to take a test to ascertain my knowledge. Then you've got achievable. So is this task feasible? So you can say, yes, it is, because I'm going to be doing reading. I'm going to look at articles and websites about the NHS. I'm going to attend training. I'm going to look at a webinar or a seminar, or I'm going to read a book. So how you're doing it. So this could be in some places, attend classes, complete assignments, look at the resources that are available, do internet research. Then you go on to realistic. So are there sufficient resources available? So we've got a list over here saying, yes, there is, because you've got reading, research, you've got articles, you've got internet videos, so probably on YouTube, you've got the library, and you can research the NHS websites as well. And then time bound. So how long is this going to take you? So you can say you want to do this within 4 weeks, and that you can test yourself by sitting an exam. Or you say, I'm going to do this in 6 months, and it will be completed when I get my certificate. And again, so it's just the same thing. So we'll actually go on to 1M1 now, and we'll just go and do it there. So Adi, can you tell me one of your objectives that you are working towards?
I want to complete this course, health and social care, then see if I can make uni in September or next year, April.
Yeah. HSC. So, oh, I need to get my number lock up. There you go. So is this a top priority, yes or no?
Yes.
And then what do you need to do what activities are you going to do to make sure you complete this?
To read and focus more on what is taught in class. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what support resources do I need to achieve? So for this, I'll help you out a little bit. You need your tutor. You need your classes. And then what other things would you use to complete your assignments and
technology?
Yeah, so make sure your laptop is up to date, that you've got access to the internet, yeah?
Yeah.
And then also reading. So you could do research and reading. Yeah, that's it. And then when do you think you want to get this achieved? What's a target date for achieving my objectives?
Let's say May.
So May 21, yeah?
Yeah.
And then actual date of achieving my objectives. So if you've not completed it, leave this blank. For example, if you had said May 21 and you have done it, and it's say it could be an old course that you were thinking of doing and you've already completed it. You could have said, yes, I said May and I actually did complete it in May. But if you've not done it, leave this section blank.
Okay.
So this one, it doesn't, unless you've completed what you wanted to do, that's fine, empty. Okay. So Julia, have you got an objective?
Main one is already there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have
So
to
what's
be...
your next step after this?
Yeah.
After you've done this
Next
course,
step,
what do you think you want to do?
apply for university.
Yeah.
After this course, apply to university.
And what course are you thinking of doing?
Nursing.
So we think of nursing, and then is this a priority for you?
Yes.
Oh, it's taking me somewhere else. There. And then what activities are you going to do to make sure you get to university?
To complete the level 3 qualification.
And then also apply to UCAS?
UCAS, yeah.
Yep. And then what support do you need to do this?
You say no, down. Tutoring, class, technology search,
Yeah.
reading, practice as well. Basic focus on
Tutoring, classes. What about things like loans or funding?
oh yeah, like research for the phones online.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So those things.
Student loan.
And then you want to apply to university, because remember this is not saying complete university. So apply to university. So say September.
Yeah, September or January.
/8, yeah. /January. And then you can leave that blank again. Now, you could say on the next one, complete nursing. So complete your nursing degree. Put down, yes, that it is a priority for me. And then what activity you need to do. So attend 3 years of uni. Submit assignments. And also complete placements. And then you'll have the support of, say, for example, your tutors, family members, NHS staff, because obviously they'll be, and you'll probably end up getting a mentor as well. So, and then say, for example, you started in September 21, so you say that I complete this by June 24. So yeah, so just a couple of things that you can even add into it if you're going to do a level 2 English, and then level 2 maths, because I know those are precursors to making sure that you can get into uni as well. So you can just add in anything that you're doing, even if you do how to research, so research the NHS, and then just tell me how you're going to do it. So YouTube, and then articles and websites. So remember, it doesn't have to be big things. It can be the smaller things that you actually just want to gain more knowledge. It can even be if you're working within a care home, or if you know somebody who's a nurse now and you aspire to be a nurse. You might even just want to have a conversation with them, and just add that in. Speak to a nurse, have a good mentoring session, have a conversation. Yeah. So when you're doing this, all you've got to do is, for 1M1, complete this in, and then then we can just click on this bit here, that little box at the top, and then copy and paste it. So just copy it, and then it'll let you paste it into your assignment. So it's quite simple. You can actually pick the whole thing up and just pop it into where you need it to be. So this section in itself isn't that difficult. You will be getting it, you will pass in this section as long as you're talking about yourself. So, because I've had a lot of assignments where I've got back where they're very good, but the student is not talking about their own skills, their own weaknesses. So as long as you focus it on yourself, you'll be fine in this section. So that was it for the PowerPoint. I'm actually going to go back and show you where all of these documents are so that you can access them a lot easier. Do you have any questions while I'm waiting for it to reload?
Yeah, can I just ask you, so basically for 1MR1, is it just to finish the form?
Yes.
Yeah.
Make it as detailed as you want. Don't forget to put the actual date in. So don't forget to do your target date. You can ignore the actual date because if they've not been completed, leave that blank.
Okay.
And then just copy paste it in and you'll be fine. Yeah, this section is quite nice, the learning outcome one. So I'm just logging back in. So it's taking its time, isn't it? There you go. So it's all over here. So you just log on to the, click onto the academic and research skills unit. And then it's under learning outcome 1. So this is the PowerPoint that we just looked at. The English test will lead you, that's a link for your English test there. This is for 1M1, the template that we just looked at. And there were 2 documents for 1.2. So you can just access everything from here. So I'm just going to turn the recording off now.